Welcome to Wednesday night is Overbooked, your midweek break from the craziness of the world, talk a little wrestling, and I am here with my esteemed guests. To my stage right, the camera back, the lovely face, the talented, bad takes and all, Mr. LeftEyeEgo. Ego, how are you, sir?
Doing great now that I finally got my camera working, so I am in good spirits now.
Oh,
that is so cute.
it's starting early, folks. And directly beneath him is our legal expert, Mr. Duke Devil 95, Bradley Burnett. How are you, sir? How was the worms?
The worms are squirmy as always. Made it through another episode. They're still open, inviting many people to visit, of course. Meaning, this sounds really creepy. You realize?
Yes, you
literally.
So.
I know, but it's Deep Space Nine. There's a giant wormhole, but we've just made it all pervy.
You watch it, so
there's a reason. It's awesome. It's good.
How are you,
doing
sir?
Good. Doing good.
Alrighty, and directly below me, in parts unknown, hailing from the medical profession area in New Jersey, we have the Baconental champion, Matt, the unbearable 73. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well on my tour with the Baconental Championship, bring respect back to what that deserves, And
Gotcha.
Yep. As I broadcast from the anus of America, New Jersey.
Gotcha. Yes. And we do have some folks in the chat, as Mr. Jacob Ironton, a wrench of wrenches, is dropping links in the chat right now. As also in the description, we have links to all of our channels, all of our socials. We all have YouTube channels of our own. We would love it if you would drop by, give us subscribe, hit our likes, share our content. So if you don't mind, folks,
I say you better subscribe or we'll bash in some skulls, right?
Thank you, Harley. So before we get into our main topics here, I spoke with Mr. LeftEyeEgo about something that happened on Friday night and some aftermath of what happened on Friday night. We all know about the triple threat match with we know about the triple threat match between Nia Jax, Jade for the 5th time, Jade Cargill for the 3rd time versus Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's Championship. Tiffany goes over. Obviously, Jax sent Jade into the steps and busted her open pretty nicely. I'm not going to say now the botch at the end of the match. That was one thing, but it's something. Yeah, there was a botch.
That's not anything that I saw on the rewatch. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know. I mean, that was a completely clean count and everything.
Clean count.
Everything
went. There are botches in matches. What the hell?
I know. It's insane.
But there was something that was brought up on Wrestle Talk. Apparently, Miss Jade Cargill decided to run her mouth again, and this brought up something. And Ego, being the reformed, the new learned, about the person, the character of Jade Cargill, and I wanted to give him the floor really quick. So, Mr. Ego, if you don't mind, the floor is yours, sir.
You need more than an ultra.
This is just the first one. There'll probably be a little more as the stream goes on.
It's not going to hit you. It's an ultra.
First of all, we get it. Botches and things happen. Okay. I don't see how you couldn't have put your hands up when you got pushed right into the steel steps, because I've seen it happen dozens of times. When you get thrown, they usually will push the chair out of the stairs out of the way as they fall. But to botch yourself getting cut in the face, which seems to be a thing now between Jade Cargill and Jey Uso's, getting hit themselves, then bleeding everywhere and blaming other people seems to be a coincidence around these parts. But I understand that there was a botch, and it could have been between the referee, it could have been between Tiffany, could have even been with Nia Jax. Doesn't matter. The problem is when you, number one, let someone else explain what they think happened and then like the post, and then it comes from a verified account with your name attached, it makes everybody look bad. And let's talk about the fact that why you were even having this, huh?
Okay, so Ego, this post, what did it entail? What is it that Jade liked in this post?
Someone was trying to explain the botch, and I think they were trying to put the botch on Tiffany. They're trying to put the botch on Tiffany, I believe. And the problem I have with that is that the question you have to ask is, why are we having this match, Jade? Why is it that we're having this a week later than we should be? Whose botch messed up this match to begin with? I'll leave that up to you to decide. Because if you're blaming someone else for a botch that resulted in someone else getting hurt, that's one thing. A botch with the match completely unacceptable to like a post about that, calling for someone else's botch that got put over. Let's also say the fact that you're 0-3 against Tiffany Stratton, and we do not need to see you guys in the match ever again. On top of that, when you get hurt via either accident or intentional, you make the person that did it look better. This is not the UFC. You are not Forrest Griffin, and this is not the Ultimate Fighter at the end of season 1. You don't start wiping your face and saying, let's go, and knuckle up, because that shit's not happening, okay? You went into a steel steps, you didn't put your hands up, you got cut. You don't immediately face the camera and say, I do this shit. Botch, yes. If that's what you're saying, if you do that shit, I'm glad you owned it. Otherwise, you're supposed to make the other person look better that did it. Especially with Gunther, like when he started bleeding against Cody Rhodes. It's the Russian is hurt. It looked fantastic because it showed he's vulnerable and puts the other guy on top. Jey Uso, even though he hit himself in the face with his own chair and bled his own blood, he at least made Braun go over and look better. All right, I am through with it at this point.
It was also CM Punk, not Cody Rhodes.
Right. It was Punk who made.
Oh, sorry, Punk. My bad. See, it's been a long day. My bad.
Welcome, Thomas. Glad you made it.
You know what, Left Eye Ego, you're just gonna have to put a moratorium on being a fan of any WWE wrestler whose first name starts with the letter J.
Right, maybe.
Is there a cutoff?
Jade Cargill.
Okay.
Jey Uso.
Yeah.
Jimmy Uso. JC Mateo. Jordan Grace.
That's not
Jordan
fair.
Grace.
Hold on. She won her match though. She did win. At least she won. She did win. She did win. So I support winners.
Hasn't it already been established?
Whoa.
What happened? What truth did I tell? What truth offended you? Which one?
You support winners?
That is so cute.
I support winners.
The only all right. The only one who I'm going to allow you right now, because I'm going through the list. I'm trying to get the list. I'm going to allow you Jacob Fatu.
Okay. That's fine.
That's fair.
Okay.
I'm going to allow you Jacob Fatu, but you can't be.
I don't like this. Oh wait. Oh, we're in a new
I
month
can't help
now.
it. If you didn't have bad takes, we wouldn't do this.
It's a self-imposed wound.
Yeah, your bad takes are like a whole segment now.
Well, first off, I'm surprised you flipped on Jade in 6 months, because last year at this time you were still on the Jade train, and then remember we had predictions, and I predicted by next year you'd be turned against Jade, and you were done by December. I was shocked.
It was bad, and I had like
I'm shocked.
Jordan Grace was waiting in the wings, and Jay was chant. Okay, I was right.
Oh, you poor baby.
Was riding a high.
Wait,
okay?
I suddenly felt like he's setting up a Jade Cargill Jordan Grace match, which would literally look like the dumbest shit in the world.
Well,
God.
Okay.
To that I have one. Nobody wants to see that.
No one wants to see it, but Jordan Grace is a much better wrestler than, you know what I mean? He's
Well, I
Well,
agree.
You're not wrong.
I agree.
But that's a low bar to set. Now,
Also
Now-
true.
someone who has set a very high bar in the world of wrestling, Ego, if you don't mind bringing up that,
You got it.
first personal thing there.
Here, I know where it is. There we go. Got it.
We have, there we go. In a interview with Tokyo Sports, the phenomenal AJ Styles says he will retire in 2026. Will likely be working with the WWE afterward. As he quoted said, I'll probably be at WWE at the WrestleMania, which will be in April, back here in Las Vegas. But that's not locked in yet. The details aren't decided yet. But there's no doubt I'll retire sometime next year. Now, this is something that AJ has said numerous times. He does not see himself going past the age of 50 as far as an in-ring talent. He says, I don't want the fans to see me as anyone other than AJ Styles. That's the biggest reason. Before my body stops working, I've decided to retire. I haven't figured it out yet what he'll do after wrestling, but most likely I'll be working with WWE. Maybe I'll help develop young talent into main roster stars, but I'm not sure yet. I mean, could you imagine if you are a young talent coming into the performance center and your coach is AJ Styles? So I want to go with Matt first, since Matt is probably the bigger AJ Styles fan amongst all of us here. Just hang on, Matt. Hang on, Matt. Your thoughts and just what AJ Styles has brought to the world of pro wrestling.
So AJ Styles, as the Undertaker himself has said, is legit the under 6 foot best wrestler of all time. But there's no one even can get past that. Okay, the guy when he's phenomenal in every way to describe his ability to move in the ring. For you guys who didn't watch TNA wrestling or Ring of Honor, you know, the other in Japan, the greatest wrestling match of all time in terms of story elements and all. It's him versus Shinsuke Nakamura, Wrestle Kingdom 10. You can watch it again and again.
Yes, we know.
And the level of athleticism and like pseudo realism that he brings to the performance. You know, there are other guys who came along with him, but he was the best of the best, literally, for under 6 foot. I would say. Now,
Right.
as far as his career goes, had he been WWE had he or Samoa Joe gone WWE early on, either would be considered the greatest wrestler of all time. But they would have been showcased that way. And obviously, he waited until 2016 or so to make his splash. It's hard to go. And we talked about this retirement. I believe I started picking up on it, I want to say early last year, when he was making comments about not wrestling past 58 to 51, you know, wanting his body to function when he's older, you know, because this level, you know, I don't know what you guys have done as far as combat sports go or football or anything, but
No,
the
Roman,
wear and
he doesn't.
tear, the intense
Roman.
wear and tear on their bodies for the crazy crap that they do. I was just doing PT today, and I was struggling to make my leg move or whatever. These guys do exercise every day to maintain their bodies at that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? Well, the crazy hits, the crazy impacts they take and whatever. I'm sorry if I'm not being too specific about some stuff, but I'll go watch the Wrestle Kingdom 10 match with him and Nakamura, and then the sequence of 3 matches with him and Nakamura that Triple H put together, I want to say in 2017 or 2018, were also amazing. You know, he tried to the 3 were trying to recapture the Wrestle Kingdom magic that those 2 had, and they came close. The match work and the storyline were good, but Vince didn't buy in, and Vince didn't buy into a lot of guys. Like, he bought into AJ like around 2020, basically.
Gotcha.
And because he didn't buy into them, he didn't promote them.
Right.
Which we know. But so those are some matches to check out, and then anything else? And then if anyone wants some other good AJ matches, just send me a tweet, a DM, and I'll find a couple more for you.
All righty. Brad, your thoughts on the career as a whole of Mr. Phenomenal AJ Styles?
Well, I did not know AJ Styles until he joined WWE. I heard about him coming in, and I just did a checkup to see who he is. I'm like, all right, this guy's a legit wrestler. Like, not some. I mean, you just look at the history. It's like, okay. And again, this is when I did not know New Japan and all that stuff back then. But I watched. I did go and watch the water. As always,
Just water now. Wow.
But just water, just a very brown water.
Okay.
Peaty brown water.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, I have seen Shinsuke and AJ matches, and I really respect the idea that he's like, look, that AJ loves doing what he does, but he also loves it so much that he's not going to do it forever, because we have seen wrestlers go beyond their physical capabilities. Even when they should. As much as we love The Undertaker, let's be serious, he really should have retired much longer ago than he did. And then we saw some of the guys come out of retirement, and it's just awful. So I think he's trying to go out on top. He's doing a Seinfeld. I'm going out at the best that I can. He's going to be at the top of his game, because I figured the last year he's going to put on his best matches, and his retirement match should actually be him and Shinsuke.
Possibly. I just hope, because I'm thinking of because if he has a match at Mania, this will be his last Mania. I mean, his first Mania match was against Y2J, but as far as his Mania matches go, I can't really think of any one that stands out, except his match with Shane McMahon. That's probably his best Mania match. So they need to rectify that. They got a few months to figure that out.
The match with Taker was pretty good.
It was okay. Well, that was the Boneyard match. I'm talking an in-ring actual match. The Boneyard match was fine for what it was. It was cinematic. It was kind of like the Firefly Funhouse match between Cena and Wyatt. So, Ego, your thoughts on the Phenomenal AJ Styles?
How old is he, first of all?
46, 47-ish, right around there.
Okay. Yeah.
Cena's
good
age.
decision to retire at this point. I mean, I understand what he's saying. Like, hey, I want to go out while they still remember he is AJ Styles and not, insert joke about my age, AJ Styles. So I understand it. I mean, I know that his career spans a lot of different wrestling enterprises. I think from New Japan, TNA, WWE, and a few others, correct? I believe.
I'm sorry, what?
I was going to say, I know he's been in numerous other promotions like New Japan.
Basically,
New Japan and
okay. See,
TNA is where he made his name.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, I understand, like, I understand that people respect, please don't do that. I understand that people respect wherever he's been, and he's got a lot of talent to do so. So I understand if you want to get out at this point while you're still on top, go ahead. I still don't see much to him. That's just me, though. Maybe I got to go back and watch older matches to kind of get into the person that he was, understand the person that he's trying to go out on top as. But, I'm not going to fight someone trying to go out the best they can while they're physically able to walk away from wrestling and stay away from wrestling. As far as not wanting to get back in the ring just because.
Right. And Roman, the Tonka Kid is no longer in wrestling, but his son is a guy named Jacob Fatu, who is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yes. Nuts.
So my thoughts on Mr. Styles. So So my thought on Mr. Styles is good call. I mean, go out while you're on top. Go out, as you said, while you're still remembered as the phenomenal AJ Styles. I know he's not exactly Ego's cup of tea. He's more of a technician, and Ego likes the spot wrestlers. That's his speed, which is fine. He'll learn eventually. We're working on it. But I would love to see him, his home is he lives in Atlanta. I mean, Orlando's a short flight from there. So, I mean, working at the PC, training the new crop. I mean, how cool would that be to have AJ Styles as your coach? I mean, a lot more than Lord Tensai, I think might be you. I'm just saying.
Well, it's
I just love that you called him Lord Tensai.
Right. Instead of A-Train.
It's a
Prince
nice
Albert.
career track for pro wrestlers now that they can stay in the industry as trainers or
Right.
coaches or whatever.
Producers.
Producers.
Even Punk is talking about doing that, which is so bizarre.
Punk is talking about taking Sean's job after he hangs up his hat.
Mm-hmm. That's insane.
Yeah, and then we'll see if he can burn more bridges. We'll see.
Shut up. You be quiet, sir. You be quiet, sir.
It's his track record.
We could, Matt, just say, I'll really piss off Joker and say, well, it'll all be fine when Rock runs everything. You should boot me too.
Go fuck yourself.
Okay, you asked.
Now look, if The Rock didn't come back for this horrible last,
Hey, Rock, go fuck yourself.
if he didn't come back, you wouldn't have that little spot you can constantly pop up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, which is just gold. It was one of the best because I think it was. I'd love to say it was more shoot than work. I'm hoping it was more shoot than work.
Yeah.
But moving on, as we said, AJ Styles got his really became known to the North American wrestling world with TNA, Total Nonstop Action, and which is now in a partnership with WWE, mostly working with the JV squad NXT. Now, their executive Santino Domorello was talking with Lucha Libre online not too long ago and said that TNA will be the #2 promotion once they have a television deal. Quote, we're knocking on the door. You better look out because once we get that TV deal, we're #2, man. I know Tony Khan has lots of money, but the fans speak. The fans dictate who's #1, #2, #3, not your bank account. Of course, WWE is #1. They're so far ahead and we'll never catch that in my lifetime. #2 is attainable, is something we can really do. If we accomplish that, that's humongous. To Mr. Santino Domorello and the thought of being the #2 promotion in North America, I have this to say.
That is so cute.
No, you are third, and you are a distant third. Nothing against it. Nothing against the talent down there, but when you had your biggest North American show, and it was 7,500 people, when AEW, their biggest show of the year in Texas, which was low by all accounts for an all-in show the third year, and you put over 20,000. Santino, you're not the number 2, and you're not going to be. And this partnership with WWE, I mean, it's great. It gives you and your talent more exposure, sure, but this is one-sided. That's just my take on this. Brad, let's go with you. Your thoughts.
I don't want to call TNA a developmental brand, but I would suspect that WWE is going to pick and choose from there. I mean, we all understand the pecking order. SmackDown and Raw, it's the big leagues. That's the NFL. It's Major League. And then you got, like in baseball, you got, what's it, AAA, AA, single A. Same thing like, soccer. You got the Premier League, the Champions League, all that stuff. So the NXT at one point, and it still is in a very real sense, is developmental territory. But
it's a JV squad,
it's really not. Right, it's a JV squad, but it's more, as we've talked about before, developing you to get used to WWE style.
Mm-hmm.
So, like what they're doing with Joe Henry, he's gonna come over. He's gonna come over to WWE.
Yeah,
at some
next
point.
Year. Next year it's happening.
Yeah. So I mean, they're almost the farm team at this point, in my opinion, the TNA, and also for like guys on the way out, which is why you got Matt and Jeff over there. They're enjoying a last run, and they can do it because it doesn't require the hectic pace of the WWE. And
the grind,
if you don't want the grind, and if you don't want to do A&E, and I can definitely understand why you wouldn't want to do it, despite the fact Tony Khan's got money from God, but it's
More
just
money.
schlocky and dumbass. I mean, as much as Matt and Jeff have had their personal issues, they're still wrestlers. And I just feel like guys are going to AEW who were in WCW, WWE. They're just like, I don't care anymore. I just want the paycheck, which makes me sad because I love Edge.
Right. All right. Ego, your thoughts on TNA making the claim that once they get the new TV deal, which apparently with the partnership with WWE, they're leveraging this, and you might soon see TNA on the CW. So that is being rumored in the works. Your thoughts on if Santino is just hyping up TNA, or if this is an actual serious claim that he really thinks they're going to be the number 2.
Okay, number thing, who is supposed to be number 2? If that based on
AEW is.
AEW is supposed to be. I mean, the problem with with him saying it to me is, would you have said this without WWE's backing? Right. And that's my thing is, do you like if WWE put that battery in your back, would you be so like powered up to say this? Because if you take away the WWE support, can you go head to head with AEW and still come out on top? And from what y'all are telling me, it doesn't sound like you can. So I'd have a problem with someone saying this when you've got backing from a competitor and then trying to say like, oh, we're better than you. It's like, well, you couldn't beat us head to head. So, I mean, it's lofty to think that you could do that. It's just, you're trying to say this from a position of someone pushing you up. Like you're on WWE's shoulders and now you're trying to point down at Tony Khan and be like, I have the high ground. So
And
it sounds incredibly like tone deaf to say.
Don't
Yeah,
do
but it
it.
worked for Obi-Wan.
well, okay,
It worked for Obi-Wan.
Hang on, Matt, because I want to bring this in and you have your take on this. What was I going to say? Because apparently the CW deal, TNA wants to go head to head with Dynamite. And I said that is a dumb move. They're going to get crushed, absolutely crushed. Hello, Mr. Joe Atmosphere. How are you, sir? Pleasure to see you. I popped up in his chat earlier. Great guy. Definitely give his channel a like and a look-see as well. So, Matt, your thoughts briefly on the claim that TNA is just a TV deal away from becoming the number 2 promotion.
Well, he's right in a sense because AEW, like, they're being fed by Tony Khan's money, not by their deal, so to speak. So, in a sense of having a budget to make themselves that number 2 with a good TV deal, that would be a big jump up for them. You know what I mean? So that's in a sense where he's right. But I don't think his comments are about that. Okay, I mean, I've said it before, I say it again. TNA in about 2 or 3 years is going to be bought by WWE, or slash TKO, whatever you want to call the company, to replace NXT as the sort of league where they go to learn the league rules. Because NXT is blossoming very well in CW, and it might as well be a third brand by now, you know? So that you have to take that into consideration when you hear comments like this. But Santino, I'm sure he's got his pecking order points from Triple H and his team saying, when you make public comments or whatever, make sure you talk about this stuff. And we know that they want to double down on crapping over AEW, competing with them, suppressing them. We know that is going on from the top levels of TKO on down, in regards to the other company. And the last point I want to make, real brief. When we talk about Joe Hendry and other guys, their contracts are all being structured so that they get one final push in TNA, then they're ready to go over to NXT or WWE. If you watch the contracts, we're signed to the TNA guys now.
Right, and this is because as much as this, like I said, this partnership this is still a separate company. This is not under the TKO banner. This is owned by Carlos Silva, and they're doing this for exposure, which is why you'll see NXT talent holding TNA belts. I mean, Kalani Jordan, just grabbed the TNA Knockouts championship over the last week on Friday. So, I mean, and as far as the TNA talent goes, as far as with WWE, they're going to wait until certain contracts expire, and they're not, because these folks, WWE is not going to want to do business with, again, like a Nick Nemeth, Nick and Ryan, possibly the Hardys, Dana Brooke, even though she hasn't, burned any bridge at all. But TNA is a long way from being number 2. They're in a spot where they're a good 3 right now, and it's fine. And being the number 3 is not you're not in a bad spot, especially if you get a TV deal where you put on broadcast TV. So that takes us into our next talking point, which we were talking about the partnership with NXT. As you got that next one ready to go. All righty. Yep. We got this right here. As this is from Wrestle Purist. This is reporting from Fightful Select. NXT call-ups are being held close to the vest and less strict as a talent getting off of NXT TV just to go to the main roster. So this past weekend, I did a quick little live. I did a quick little live stream myself, talking about the NXT Premium Live event. No mercy. Now, closer you get to the end of the year, this is when some of the talent that is from NXT is starting. They're going to start making moves as far as matches and storylines to get talent off of NXT TV to get them ready to go to the main roster. Now, it was a 6-match card, which I thought was weird because apparently Shawn Michaels can do something that Paul Levesque can't, put 6 matches on a premium live event, which I thought was great.
Shawn just knows to go to the other hand. Here's 5. Oh, wait, I have another hand. Oh, there's 6.
There you go. So,
That's all.
and of the six matches, 4 of them had talent involved that is, in my opinion, ready to go to the main roster. You had in one of the matches you had Sol Ruka. In one of the matches you had Ethan Page. In a match you had Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe. And in the main event you had Ricky Starks and Oba Femi. All those names that I mentioned could be on the main roster. Now, as far as the matches played out, there were 3 title matches: Oba, Sol Ruka, and Ethan Page. Well, Sol did not drop the Speed title, which would have been the first indication that they got plans to move her up to the main roster. Sol retained, so she's gonna be there for a little while longer. Ethan Page, for the North American Championship, retained that title, so he's gonna be there for a little while longer. Oba Femi dropped his title to Ricky Saints, so that's a clue right there. And I did a video about this earlier. And in the match with Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe, I've been saying that Jordan should have been on the main roster for a while now, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Jordan Grace. But Jordan Grace went over. So that tells me that they still have plans for Jordan Grace down in NXT. So that leaves Blake Monroe and Oba. And I think we all know which show needs the most help as far as main roster shows, and that's SmackDown. SmackDown is awful right now. Paul Levesque, if you're listening, fire Road Dogg. I know that's your boy, but it sucks. He has to go. So
Yeah, but SmackDown.
Go on.
Oh, with the comment of SmackDown being awful, adding more talent isn't going to fix it. The writing is the issue. The writing. If we look at the major wrestling during the week, we have 3 WWE shows, right? And then we have 2 AEW shows, and we have 1 TNA show, 1 Ring of Honor show, right? All those shows, I think only 2 of them have okay writing. The rest have sucky writing. You know?
Yeah.
So there's a dearth of writing talent in wrestling right now.
Right. And as far as being called up to the main roster, SmackDown is the one because SmackDown is it's the same matches every single time. There's nothing new. Yeah. There's nothing fresh. Right now, the best thing on SmackDown is Sami Zayn and his United States Championship Open challenges.
The John Cena Open Challenge.
Right. We're just redoing this. This is a perfect vehicle to introduce Oba Femi to the main roster. Mm-hmm. Because we saw last week the person who took the challenge was Javon Evans. Now, Ego, you would like Javon Evans. He's definitely more your style.
Spot.
Is he in a tag team or no?
No, he is a singles guy. He is high spot. He is energy person.
I watched his episode, his match. It was all spots. Basically, it was all spots.
I want to see Oba Femi. I want to see him coming out and not just walk out to the middle of the ring in a match and put 2 people in body bags and walk out. Like, just say, this is my place. I rule it, and walk right out. Don't even say it. Just do it. And then next week comes out.
We do not advocate homicide here on this show.
Gotta walk in, establish dominance, beat the
crap
crap out of the guys, let them get ferried out, and then walk out. Just don't even talk about it. Just walk out.
This is why I think that the Open Challenge is a perfect place, because you can have Oba, not next week, not in the next 2 weeks, in like a month. Oba will get a rematch.
Let me put it another way.
Okay.
You remember how we all felt? How
hang on, Matt.
Sorry.
Matt, hang on. Oba will get, I don't know, he'll get a rematch. It'll be some shenanigans or something causing him to not regain the title, like next month or in December even. Sammy's doing his challenge, and these challenges are taking their toll on because he's doing them every week. Oba, and so you hear Oba's theme, and he comes out and just ragdolls Sammy. Absolutely just ragdolls him. It is.
So you have him dropping the title to Oba?
Oba Femi, yes.
I like that. Immediately. I do like that.
To establish dominance and decisiveness. And this is a great way to introduce Oba Femi to the main roster because you got Sammy, who is an emotional favorite. He is a great storyteller in the ring. Fans love him. And for someone to be like, oh my God, and Sammy will have racked up win. And all of a sudden, oh damn, this guy just came in and like nothing.
But then we're back to the same old, like the no mid card, no top guy beat up mid carders to establish a dominance. Remember back in the day,
had a point at Matt.
With Stone Cold, Kane, and The Undertaker were around for 15, 20 years. We didn't feel it was ever safe. Like we always knew that any one of them come at any given time and beat the crap out of someone in the ring just because they didn't like their tie. Like there was, even when Stone Cold, they were your ally, like they helped you out, they could have dropped you right after. Like I want Oba to have that same energy, that same I can murder anyone at any time. The way those or Randy Orton, he can RK you out of nowhere. Like I want Oba on that list right away.
Okay. And that's fine. I mean, I want Oba to be dominant as well. But as far as an introduction to this, so now he's introduced into the mid card. So now you can have him against a Carmelo Hayes. You can have him against a Solo Sikoa, a Tangaloa, a Hikuleo. You can have him, and you can have him deal with all the bloodline stuff. Whoever if they do the transfer portal and bring someone over from Raw. Now you've got stuff for him to play with, but establish him from the get-go as this is a guy that you need to take seriously with a dominant win for a title right off the bat. That's just how I see it.
Could you I don't even know how it would work. I'm just saying, just for the aesthetic of it, of the unstoppable force that is Jacob Fatu versus the immovable object of Oba Femi on SmackDown. I'd watch the hell out of that match.
Okay.
Just for the match itself, I'd watch.
Okay, hang on. Because for the match itself, Jacob is right now right on the cusp of being put into main event status.
Oh yeah, I know.
So
I know.
So I would not have Jacob going for a mid card title.
I'm not saying now. I'm saying that at a certain point, that's what I would love. It's a future booking for me that I'd love to see.
It will happen.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Brad, you want to say something?
Yeah. I have no problem with Oba Femi coming up. The problem is SmackDown, and it was said at the beginning when we started talking about this, SmackDown's a fracking mess. Okay?
It is a mess.
The undisputed WWE Championship is on that show. It is the wrong show to be on, but I'm looking at the roster right now. I'm like, who challenges? I have no idea who's a challenger for Cody right now. And again, we just goes back to the problem when Cody was champion before. Who's challenging Cody?
Drew.
Yeah.
Drew.
Okay, but that's about it. At the same time, I'm like, okay, Aleister Black's a great wrestler. You got the Wyatt Six,
Damian
which has
Priest.
completely been wasted.
Damian Priest. you
Damian
got there
Priest has
still.
proved himself to be very competent.
Randy.
Jacob Fatu, Gargano, and Tommaso are great tags. Hey, there's some
Yeah.
guy named Roman Reigns. Does anyone remember him? He's technically on that show.
Right.
Um,
He's technically a SmackDown guy. I know.
It's just like no one is writing stories for these characters. I mean,
And
I don't.
And this is
it's-
what we said, and this is what Matt said right from the start.
He's right.
It all comes down to creative. If the creative is not there, all the talent in the world means nothing.
Mhm.
And I go back, and now I go to the other person who lost their match at No Mercy, who some folks might say it's too soon, but you could easily move Blake to the main roster
Oh yeah.
easily.
Well,
Here's why. And again, in my video, if you look at her entire run in AEW and the very short run she's had in NXT, it's almost exactly the same. It is a mirror image of each other, because she starts off, she gets paired with a fan favorite, first with Toni Storm, then with Jordan Grace. They had the vignettes, the little adventures. She betrays them both. It's at this point where she is referred to as the woman from hell in both AEW and then NXT. After the betrayal of Jordan Grace, they started calling her the woman from hell. In the Mariah May's last match, she gets put through a table,
yeah.
and Toni Storm falls on top of her in just exhaustion to get the 1, 2, 3. At no mercy, Jordan puts Blake through a table and falls on her out of sheer exhaustion for the 1, 2, 3. Now, do I think that there's still some stuff for Blake to do in NXT? Sure. You're gonna have her qualify for the Iron Survivor Challenge at Deadline, which is a great match to watch. It's a lot of fun. She's not going to go over in that because that would determine the number one contender for the NXT Women's Championship. But there's something the next month right after that. It's called the Royal Rumble. You know she's going to show up in that. Have her win and become only the second female talent to win the Rumble in her debut. Does anyone know who the first woman to do that was? I'll give you a hint. It's the winner of the first Women's Royal Rumble. Asuka. So
that's right.
Blake,
Then Vince ruined her career right after that.
So Blake wins the Rumble. Now she has a championship match. Challenges Tiffany Stratton because I have looked at the SmackDown roster. I don't see anybody challenging Tiffany until Mania. Nothing.
What you have Nia Jax.
No.
You have
That's enough of that nonsense.
We had Nia Jax. And TakeOver.
I watch reruns all the time.
Hey, hi.
Okay, so
when they're good.
So thoughts on Oba and Blake being the two definite coming up to the main roster. Brad, I'll start with you.
We predicted that Oba Femi was only be in NXT for the rest of this year. We were talking about this earlier this year. Oba Femi's going up next year. Appearance in the Rumble probably makes the most sense. Blake, we know that was just a pit stop. We've talked about this. She could have gone directly to the main roster.
Oh yeah.
But as we've also said, it's learning the WWE method. which is when you get someone who is a very experienced wrestler and it's like, great, we know you got the skills, but we got to show you how we make our product here. That is where I think NXT is beneficial for people coming in from other promotions.
Yeah.
Okay. Ego, thoughts on Oba and Blake being the two definite call-ups from NXT?
On the one thing, it's not surprising, but the other part is this because the writing in SmackDown is so bad and there's such a lack of talent that you feel you have to do this?
Okay,
And
no, okay. There is not a lack of talent. It's the lack of creative. I mean, especially on SmackDown with the let's go with the women's division there. If you didn't already know that Julia is the women's United States Championship, would you even know Julia is on that show?
I completely forgot she was on there.
Okay.
Well, and that's why I'm saying, like, in that vein, it's concerning because are you using them as a plot device as an answer to your bad writing? And
No,
that's what I'm saying is a concerning part.
The writing has to change.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I'm excited they're getting a main they're going to be on the main roster. It's just like I'm concerned that it's SmackDown that you're putting them on. The one y'all are saying has bad writing. I don't want them to be there and get completely underutilized and we forget they're there, even though they've been dominant at NXT. So I mean, again, it's something that I'm excited you're getting a shot. It's just like, man, I really hope you don't fall in the trap of the bad writing that we've seen so far.
Right. Matt, thoughts?
Well, I mean, I've said before, the only thing that stopped them from coming up this year was, in my opinion, the WWE NXT TV contract with wanting to have a higher, because that's legit making them real money. You know, I mean that I don't think they expect. Well, I think Triple H knew it, but insert Triple H smirking icon there. But I don't think the other people at TK understood how much money that signing at NXT with CW was going to make for them. So we can see now with those two being phased out of their current program, their storylines at NXT, obviously a move is going to be made. We might see Oba make his Rumble appearance as his first one. That's possible.
I think it's sooner. I think it's just sooner. I think it's this.
It could be sooner. I mean, maybe it'll be a Survivor Series team up or something. But
I think it's the Sami Zayn Open Challenge. That makes the most sense.
Too.
Could be that. It could be that too. I'm not disputing any of that. The spots are certainly there, right? And the issue is always going to be who's going to replace them in NXT. And and are they going to be wasted with these horrible writing that I mean,
and
it drives me crazy. We used to have for in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, even very early 2010s, you could watch 7 different wrestling programs a week, and 4 or 5 always had decent writing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And now they can't find a guy to write a wrestling match for nothing. It seems all these big companies.
Yeah, we'll get into a little bit of that in our next topic. But I think dropping the title for at least, and I'll end with this about Oba. I think dropping the title to Ricky Saints, it made sense because really, who is there on NXT that you could look at and say, like, that's a challenge to Oba?
Right.
Nobody. I mean, their entire roster is a lot more Ricky Saints size and more of his style of a match. So that's going to be up in the air. And again, it all comes down to creative, which brings us to something that I'm actually liking, and that is we are on the road to Crown Jewel. Now, there are some things that are being done great creatively. and things that are not being done great creatively. First off, as far as the crown jewel match itself goes, we still have the champion versus champion for bragging rights in the Super Bowl ring. This match between Tiffany Stratton and Stephanie, it's going to be a fine in-ring match. It is definitely the right call to make, but there's nothing to it. This is just bragging rights. Same with Cena and AJ Styles. This is a jangling keys match.
What was it, Brad, who came up with the idea of calling these the crown jewel verse matches? That was last year. In other words, they're a separate the Saudi verse or whatever. They're like a separate continuity.
Well, okay, there is that. I mean, a lot of the Saudi shows initially were considered like in non-canon. They were just a match because they had because it was the greatest Rumble ever, in which Braun Strowman won. You never see that belt, and you never saw that belt ever again. You know, you've got the crown jewel belts, which stay in Saudi, and you get a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
So, but more and more these Saudi shows are becoming integrated into the storylines. So it is what it is. This match here has had almost no build at all. This is just resting on star power here.
Which were you pointing at? What was one you're pointing at just now?
This is star power. This is Cena and AJ Styles.
Oh, okay. Because there's no cursor there. I didn't see anything.
Okay. So then you go to Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. This has been wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. The last 2 weeks in promos, this has been very, very good. Now, this is taking a match, which means nothing, because the champion versus champion matches are useless. They're bragging rights.
Yep.
But now you've made it personal. You've made this personal, and you're bringing in the past. You're bringing in the history between Cody and Seth, and that promo they had on the Monday night, because Seth is worried. There's doubt in Seth Rollins' head, which Cody has just smartly just inserted just little lines here and there, just like a sniper, bang, bang, bang. So Seth Rollins is no longer the cackling idiot, which I can't stand. That Seth Rollins. And we saw toward the end of Raw when Heyman is talking up the Braun Browns, and you've got Seth going, I have to beat him. And Heyman's like, well, of course you're going to beat him. Of course. He's like, no, I have to beat him. Because if Seth can't beat Cody Rhodes for a fourth time, if Seth loses a fourth time, then everything he's talked about, the vision, the
vision is it's a bad vision.
It's a fraud. He's a fraud.
Which means he's going over.
Exactly. By who? Yeah. Brock Lesnar is going to show up and assist.
And take out Cody?
Again, they have history. Now the other
I'm gonna honestly, Joker, I think that is, I don't think that's good for Seth's character.
Wait, first of all, who did you say is going to come in and break it up?
Brock Lesnar will come in and help Seth.
Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah, I definitely see that. Okay, I dig it.
I'll tell you why I don't agree, because I think that lessens the vision. I get the smarmy heel, but I think it weakens his character, because then they will always say you are only what you are because of Brock Lesnar.
Okay, but let's go back to the promo. And Seth is like, everything goes through me. Everything goes through me. And code. He's like, really? So you made the call to have the Brawns show up on SmackDown, right? You made the call to have Heyman introduce Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza, and you see Seth's face just sink. Seth is not calling the shots here. Paul Heyman is.
Okay.
At least that's how I saw it. Ego, do you see it? Ego or Matt, do you see anything like that at all?
I mean, I do see a run out by someone like Brock to break it up. I like that for a longer form storytelling, because I mean this could have gone for a while, but they've each got separate stories. So having someone coming in, break it up,
and it sets up War Games.
I'm okay with that. I actually like that, because I mean Cody winning twice in a row, I'm like but someone coming out and causing to lose, I like that better.
Matt, thoughts?
The only
I'm sorry.
Okay, so I'll keep it simple. Like, it's always a fine balance. Like when you have a strong heel, and the heel is a heel that plays. When I say a strong heel, I don't mean like a heel that always wins. I mean a heel who wins like Gunther. He wins. He defeats his opponents. He doesn't have a lot of extra help or shenanigans or whatever. And Seth can play both types of heel right now, and right now he's playing
The cowardly heel.
The cowardly heel, right? Yeah. And so the question is, how do we make his character, like, enhance his character story, right? So there's two ways. One is he brings someone new in for him, like say Brock or anyone, right? So he's a master manipulator, right? Or two is he wins by kind of like pulling out. He can't do this a lot. Pull out the non-cowardly heel card and raffle stomp someone. Like I don't know. Everyone's like, wait a minute, he could do that too, but then that disappears for 6 more months. You know what I mean? Right. It's got to be like an out of nowhere type of thing. Randy Orton, by the way, is one of the best guys at that. But where
and that's possible. That's possible.
Yeah. So I'm leaning towards him doing the manipulative, get another person to come in and help him type thing, which could well be Brock. Could be other people. Could be Brock.
Okay. Brad, did you want to add to one last thing before you go on?
I still think it's going to be Seth going over on a straight out win. I don't like the idea that someone else comes in, because I think it lessens the idea that he's in control, and it puts more Heyman in control of everything. And I do not want the idea of like the Vince McMahon type from the 90s. It's like, it was me all along. And it's just Heyman going, it was me all along. I've orchestrated everything. And then it just, you can be a cowardly heel and still win straight out. I don't see him getting to Brock without Heyman. And I see no reason that Brock would do it otherwise, unless Heyman's orchestrating it all. So that's, and again, with all the changes where Heyman betrayed Punk and betrayed Roman, then it all becomes the Heyman show. And I don't like the Heyman show, because we're not doing ACW. Paul Lee dangerously is fine, but Seth Rollins, to be the credible guy that he is, the credible vision, has to be on his own. I honestly don't know why he has fucking Heyman with him.
Well, but I will say this about this. This is also serves as a nice break from Seth and CM Punk, which is going to be the eventual Mania match.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
also we're assuming that the Brock is taking a trip to Australia. He may have just effed off back to Wisconsin whenever at this point, bang and save.
You mean Saskatchewan?
Whatever.
Now the other match that got added on Monday, and I called this match because I kind of figured this was going to happen. And, I thought that this match would have happened regardless of the Women's World Championship match at WrestlePalooza either way. But we're getting Rhea and Io versus Asuka and Kairi Sane. Again, this is a way that you're obviously going to put Rhea on this card. You're not going to have a show in Australia and not have Rhea Ripley on your show in a match where she's going to win and there's no title involved. So this match here also insulates Stephanie because she'll probably be involved in the War Games match or something in a War Games or a traditional Survivor Series match, which they should do because the women don't need a War Games match this year. I'm just saying. But this insulates Stephanie for another 2 months, at least until like the Rumble-ish time frame. It's a way for Rhea to go over. It's a way for, again, Io is the beloved. And I saw this story. I'm interested in it because you've got Asuka now pulling I'm the mentor. You would not be here without me. I paved the way here. You owe me. You are to be my student. And Kairi is going along because she doesn't want to make waves. And I think this is a decent story. And I think that's what, and with the talent level in this, with these four ladies, this could be an amazing match. Just saying. Now, I do think this is all, at least with the Cody and Seth match, there may be some other matches, maybe Roman and Braun, maybe for the women's tag team championship, you'll have Charlotte and Alexa versus Sol, Ruka, and Zarya, because Zarya is from the exact same region of Australia as Rhea. They went to the same wrestling school. But this is all leading toward War Games. And, you know, the War Games match, you've got, I could see for the heels, you've got the division, you know, Seth, the Bronze, Brock Lesnar, maybe Drew McIntyre, possibly, who actually got cast to play Connor McLeod's brother, opposite
Angus
Henry.
McLeod. I hope we can get the accent.
That may be a struggle, but
It's going to be a stretch.
But that is a nice little segue into the staple of this show. It is the Once and Overbooked Top 5 is where we take a topic, we give our 5 best takes. Our number 5 pick gets a 1 point. Our number 1 pick gets 5 points. And at the end, our legal expert, Bradley Burnett, who counts in 6s instead of 5s.
AKA Press Waterhouse.
I have zero prep, guys. So what is our actual top 5 topic?
I will tell you in just a second. Hey, Eric. Glad you
So I'll see if I can do this one off the top of my head. Otherwise, I'll drop for you guys.
I think you have a good chance of doing it off your head.
Oh, yeah. So because we've got Drew McIntyre going into movies, Cody and Rock are going into Street Fighter. Edge has just been Roman. Edge just got announced that he will be he's going to be in the Beekeeper 2. So there's wrestlers.
We got Peacemaker. We got the Smashing Machine. All sorts.
You've got wrestlers in movies and TV shows. So we're going to do the top 5 movies and TV shows about pro wrestling.
Wait. So the top 5 movie and TV shows about pro wrestling?
Correct.
Now, are we talking like in terms of like the content quality, right?
We're talking about We're talking about the best. I mean, what do you mean about content? What are you
No.
talking about?
When we say best, do we mean something you can watch and just enjoy, but it's really
Yes.
stupid, or something that is actually high quality material?
That's good. That's good stuff.
It can be
Good
both.
stuff. It could be
Okay.
both.
Because my number one is already picked, so that was easy.
Okay.
It's
And you can have documentaries, not WWE documentaries,
Right.
not the
So-
WWE produced ones, but actual documentaries.
I want to adjust this really quick. Returning Liv could win the Royal Rumble to challenge at Mania. She could. I've been thinking about. I've been thinking about this, and yes, the Rumble is one of the things that goes on your Hall of Fame resume. But Liv is really, if I was to say, what is the multi-person match that defines Liv Morgan? It's the Chamber. I mean, she's been in every single one. To have her win that is, I think, is a more appropriate thing. But that's aside. I track here with the top five. So, Mr. LeftEyeEgo, movie or TV show about pro wrestling? You're number 5, sir.
All right, number 5. It was one of the first PG-13 movies I was allowed to watch. Ready to Rumble. I'm not
Ready
gonna
to
lie.
Rumble.
Yes, it was fun. It was goofy. Had David Arquette. I think there was like Diamond Dallas Page was in there at one point. It's about wrestling, the road of how goofy it was, but it was fun. It seemed funny, and it was like one of the first experiences I had to watch a movie about wrestling. So I got that as number 5.
All right. Mr. Price of the Waterhouse, Brad, you're in number 5.
I'm going to go back to 2006, one of the last movies I actually enjoyed Jack Black in, Nacho Libre.
Nacho Libre. Okay. I like it.
Which is basically a monk who becomes a luchador.
Right.
It was just, this is really before I thought Jack Black got full of himself. And it's just a weird concept, but it kind of works. It's kind of fun. It's goofy fun. And this is where, like I say, it really relies on the Jack Black character at the time. Now I don't think he'd do it, but it's fun for what it was.
Yes. All right, Matt, you're number 5.
Does Dark Side of the Ring count?
Yes.
It does.
Then that's number 5. For those who haven't seen it, it's kind of an independent documentary series that probes the not so nice or less shiny parts of the ugly truth of the pro wrestling world, and it had intermittent release.
Right.
So that's my number 5.
Very good. Very good. My number 5 is a movie that is based on a true story, loosely based on a true story. And that is the story of Paige, otherwise known in AEW as Saraya, and it's called Fighting with My Family. It is the journey of Paige from going from this family-owned, basically a backyard promotion in Nottingham, England, to a tryout at the O2 Arena, moving to Orlando to the Performance Center, and going to NXT, and then culminates with her first appearance on Monday Night Raw, which was after Mania, when she shocks the world as an NXT gal and wins the Divas Championship at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got wrestling talent. You've what was it? Zelina Vega played AJ Lee. You've got a great performance by Vince Vaughn, and a believable appearance and performance by Florence Pugh as Saraya. So I thought it was a fun little film.
You also forgot your favorite actor ever.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Never happened.
Future Oscar nominee.
That's it.
Hey, Rock,
You know what's
go fuck yourself.
going to happen. You also know what's
I
going to
know.
win every award next year. The one that just came out.
Oh God, give me cancer now. I'm just saying.
The Oscars aren't for real movie fans.
I know. All right, Ego, you're number 4.
You know what? I'm going to go on Audible. I'm also going to go with Fighting with My Family. I totally forgot Vince Vaughn's role, but I thought it was the linchpin of the story for me in there, especially with him discussing what it was like, his character, what it was like for him to be main roster and helping save Paige. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I totally forgot about it. Not that it's a bad thing. It's just like, I did go see that. I actually went to go see it in theaters. So, I mean, seeing the journey play out on the big screen, and that's like, hey, most of this is at what actually happened for a wrestler that's pretty decent, was actually pretty good. So, Fighting with My Family is number 4.
And a thing about Vince Vaughn, he actually played a amalgamation of 3 people.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
With who? Did they say who it was supposed to be or no?
I'd have to go back and look at it. The names are on the top of my head. Brad, you're number 4.
I'm going to go with what Matt said for number 5, Dark Side of the Ring.
Okay.
It's really interesting documentary. And let me explain to you how interesting it is. I've watched it with my significant other who does not like pro wrestling.
Gotcha.
So that tells you just how interesting it is of a show to present the world of pro wrestling. And as I've explained to her, I'm like, you have to understand, pro wrestling is its own community, its own reality. And these are the stories of how these people are passionate about doing this job, live in this world. And it is dark, some really, really dark. So that's my number 4.
It exposes the ugly truth of an industry, which
Well,
okay, fine.
all right. Matt, you're number 4.
okay. So my number 4 is also a documentary. I believe it was called The Rise and Fall of ECW. It was really, for those who want, if you want, since now we are all on the show, we are insiders in the sense that we know how it works, so to speak. But the rise and fall of ECW was, in a lot of ways, the public's first exposure from the people who run the industry to the nature of the industry. You know, if you know what I mean. Like before that, it was all kayfabe this, kayfabe that. But when they rise and fall of ECW, exposed why ECW rose and fall and all that surrounded it. And just it's that's why I have it at number 4. I promise they're not all documentaries.
Gotcha. And before I do mine, number 4, I want to thank everyone who's been in the chat, commenting everything. We do still have a goal of double-digit likes from the chat. So if you don't mind, folks, also check out the link below. All of our links down in the description for all of our YouTube channels.
I say you better subscribe or we'll bash in some skulls, right?
Thank you, Harley. So my number 4, there was a wrestling show on local TV. I'm sure it was on every local channel, like before the C Dub was the CE Dub. It was like, I don't remember. I don't know what it would be called. The rest of the world on my where I lived, it was like KT LA.
Yeah,
but it was this goofy, campy show about women's wrestling. Well, Netflix made a show about the creation of that show, and it's called Glow, Gorgeous Ladies
of Wrestling.
So Roman, if you want nudity, you can go to the second and third season of that. There's plenty over there. But again, it's as goofy as it was, there's still a lot of truth to what goes in to all the workings of how, as the term goes, how the sausage is made to put on a pro wrestling show. And it was a very entertaining show. So that's my number 4. Ego, you're number 3, sir.
Number 3. This is one of the few movies that I watched that actually made me cry at the end. And I did not understand the family history. I had to be explained this, and then I went to go see it. But number 3 is Iron Claw. Like, man, I'm actually I don't watch the Oscars. I don't really care about nominations. But yeah, what's his name? What's his real name?
Von Erichs.
Yeah, the Von Erichs. No, the guy that played the main Von Erich. What is his name? His name is escaping.
Oh, the actor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I'm doing
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Was it Zac
Efron? Yeah, it was Zac Efron. That's
Zac
amazing.
Efron, yeah.
High School Musical.
I was so surprised he didn't even get a nomination for this. Like, I was upset. They're like, oh, we're gonna pose it for next year, and I'm like, I don't think they ever did it. But I mean, it deserved a nomination just for the character that he entailed, all that he showed us that the character went through with the whole Von Erichs family. Like, that was phenomenal stuff. And he nailed the line is, I used to be a brother and now I'm not a brother anymore. And his son's being like, Dad, you can be a... I was like, man, damn. I did not understand. It was a powerful rendition of the tragedy of the Von Erichs. So I was like, yo, that's number 3. I wish I had it higher, but I've got it number 3.
All right. Brad, you're number 3.
The Von Erichs are actually covered in Dark Side of the Ring.
My
number 3 is, I can't believe this was actually made and what it captured. Wrestling with Shadows, Hitman Hart.
Yeah. That was good.
It captured the Montreal screw job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they were... The amazing thing to me is, like, Vincent, look, we all know what happened with the screw job. We know who's involved at this point, okay? We don't know who killed Kennedy, but we know who's involved in the screw job.
It's a work.
But the fact that it was allowed to be filmed, even knowing, like, Vince, Triple H, they all knew that this documentary was going around filming, and it's like, you know what you're going to do and you still let it get filmed? That's insane.
Yeah.
See, that's why I am in the short list of people who think that the Montreal Screwjob is the greatest work of all time.
Wow.
All right, Matt, you're number 3.
So, I mean, other than the number 1 spot, and the 2 through 4 could have been a lot of different stuff, right? So, I'm going to go with Fighting with My Family, and for a couple of reasons, right? Number 1, we did a lot of darkness associated with pro wrestling and all, and this movie was the opposite of that. There was a lot of family struggles, obviously, in it and all that, but this is a lot of how people's experience in pro wrestling. They have family businesses who run these places. They grow up as them as kids, and this showed the sort of triumph and struggle of it. You know what I mean? So it was really enjoyable.
Yeah. It's a great film. I actually filmed it on my channel itself. I did a review of it, which you can see if you check the playlist. It's in there under WWE. My number 3 also is a film. This came out last year. And this is also, again, based on a true story. And it's the true story of Mildred Burke, who was kind of...
Queen of the Ring.
Yeah. Queen of the Ring. So you had... this also had Tony Storm was in this. Camille was in this.
Wasn't this the woman who played Felicity Smoke
Felicity
in
Smoke.
Arrow?
Yep, that's her. And this
Oh.
is again this is again the ugly side of pro wrestling when it was completely male dominated. And as Matt said numerous times, the governing the bodies of this was the people that did boxing, and women were not allowed to compete in a combative atmosphere at this time. So you've also got the foundation. I mean, this goes back to the foundation of the NWA, and you had Jim Crockett or Jim Cornette kind of playing Jim Crockett, and you've got a Vince Sr. Played in this film. So there's a lot of history of where this film came from. It's just a shame that, I mean, Mildred Burke is now in the WWE Hall of Fame, but it was posthumously like 20 years after she died. So, but it is a fine film. It is a very fine film.
Yeah.
Didn't get a lot of love from the audience.
I forgot about it.
Right.
I want to watch it. Yeah. I meant to watch it, Jamie, but I forgot about it.
Okay, you got it. All right. Ego, you're number 2.
All right. This is all at number 2 because of Duke Devil 95, and that is CM Punk Best in the World documentary on CM Punk that came out in 2012. I did not understand CM Punk at all. I didn't understand the fascination with him. I didn't know why people were so happy that he'd come back to the WWE. And then I watched that documentary. For someone that has such a deep love and respect for wrestling in the game, and for wanting to put on matches that could be an hour, wanting to be an Iron Man. I hadn't seen or heard anyone talk about being an Iron Man when it came to wrestling since Bret Hart to me. So when I heard that you have this guy who says, I'll wrestle any match anywhere, from backyard wrestling all the way to WWE, to saying that he'll wrestle anybody and being fantastic on the mic. Good God, that man's fantastic. I've got this at number 2 because I found out more. I've been way more invested in him ever since then. Like, anytime you hear tell me that CM Punk's going to be at something or going to be in the ring, like, I gotta watch it because I don't know what's going to happen next, and I'm excited when he steps in the ring. So I've got that number 2.
All right, Brad, you're number 2.
I could have included that, but I went with documentaries that were not WWE produced when I selected them. But I have Fighting with My Family. It's an endearing movie. That's one of the nice things about it. It really is a feel-good movie. And you know, this is my first introduction to Florence Pugh, who is a much better actress than she's allowed to be in the MCU.
Correct.
And also still not fit to lead the Avengers. Should be Bucky.
No. All righty. Matt, you're number 2.
So my number 2 is mentioned before, called the Iron Claw. And it's obviously the triumph and tragedy of the Von Erich wrestling family. I remember when WWE Network first started and they announced they were buying up all the local federations, old wrestling tapes, and cleaning up and putting them on a network. I right away went to one to watch the old, I believe they were called World Championship Class Wrestling or something, WCCW or WCW, something like that. Had 4 letters. In it. Anyway, and that was the Von Erich's family wrestling organization, and they had wrestled matches with the Von Erich versus Ric Flair and 4 Horsemen, the Von Erich versus the Freebirds and all that sort of stuff. And when they put those up on the network, this stuff's really good wrestling. I went back and watched. And then when the movie came out in 2022, maybe, or 23 or 24, somewhere in there.
24.
Yeah. That I remember watching it and not getting like overly like upset about the loss of life and all that. Because it legit happened. You guys died young, but just lamenting when a whole family got taken out, like their whole business basically, and they still have guys in there now. Like Dustin Rhodes is working with the two very young Von Erichs right now over in AEW and Ring of Honor. He's personally training them because he's Dustin's going to retire too for the year or so, and putting them over in the ring. So the Von Erich family is still in pro wrestling. It's just so many of that generation of their family died that their family business basically died with it.
Right.
So.
Yeah. My number 2, kind of similar, I guess. It's, you've got the Von Erich started, they had like their own little indie promotion, and they ended up selling to Jeff Jarrett's dad, who ended up buying them out. My number 2 is a series that's also on Netflix, kind of in a similar situation. It's called Heels, and this show has.
Oh yeah.
This show is better than it has any right to be. I mean, there's very few pro wrestling talent on the show. I know CM Punk was on it. AJ Lee was in it. The main girl on Heels was also in Queen of the Ring. But again, you got this little family business, this weekly wrestling promotion in this little town that everyone comes to, and you got like basically almost like a Paul Heyman-esque, like if Paul Heyman and Vince McMahon were combined, you get this other promotion guy. It's hardcore all the time. It's fireworks. It's sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And at the end of season 2, when a spot that's supposed to happen goes awry because Steve Van, the star of the show, breaks his back, and it's like, the emotional cliffhanger that it leaves you on. I'm hoping it gets a third season. I mean, it's been a few years, but this story needs to be resolved. Closure. So Heels is a great show, and it's my number 2.
Just going to note that your number 2 and number 3 are related to Arrow.
That's fine.
Pattern.
Which seasons 1 through 4 that were fine. It's after that I got.
The same thing with like the Flash and everything else.
I never watched that show at all. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
go watch Arrow.
Arrow, the first 4 seasons.
Very
Arrow,
good.
That's 5.
Is good. All right, Ego, your number 1.
My number 1 was such a good show that my wife was so upset when she found there was no season 3, and that is Heels. I mean, she like every aspect of it. She was like, "Oh, is that how they set up for spots?" Like, "Oh, wow, that's awesome. That's the way they set up." "Oh, okay, that's what you guys are doing." So yeah, I was like, "Honey, this is what we talk about when we're talking about things and how they're set up," or the fact that some of the townspeople can't separate the in-ring character from the character that sells them lawn mowing equipment.
Yeah,
it perfectly encapsulates wrestling being a large part of a small town, and what happens when there's competition, what happens when you've got conflicting viewpoints of being old school with saying, hey, this is the multimedia age, you need to post, you need to tweet, you need to do all these things. You've got a brother that's still trying to live up to the reputation of his father, and the younger brother who wants to be the star, and there's that brother struggle that's there. And the fact that they give you they try to give you the glimpses back. It's a phenomenal story, which honestly, I wish WWE would pick it up and put it back or have it put on Netflix to finish it out, round out the characters. It would be a great pipe feeder to put some NXT talent in there for some of the scenes or whatever. I just thought it would. I
All of
think
it,
it's a phenomenal
listening.
show.
All of it. If you're listening,
Saying, like, yo, it's perfect. You want to get these guys on TV without messing up the way they've got it set up. Buy the rights to this show and put them on. Stephen Amell loves the game.
well,
Like
it's
that
on
guy.
Netflix.
He's
Well,
wrestled.
He,
Well,
Stephen
yeah,
Amell is the best celebrity wrestler of all time.
I
Ego?
love Stephen Amell. Go ahead.
And Ego, it's on Netflix. They already own it. So
Well, that's what I'm just like I'm saying, like make it something that's like, hey, it's a WWE product. It's part of the package with Netflix, so we can at least have it set up to keep going. I love it. And the thing is, it doesn't always. And the thing, every season could be someplace new if you want to do that. It's just such a phenomenal concept that I don't think it should be forgotten. I think it needs to continue, and I would love to see continue. So, Heels number one, fantastic show.
Gotcha.
Ego has very valid points. Unfortunately, the argument about television the way it is today does not fit on the show because we could spend another hour on that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, Brad.
My
your
number one movie I've only seen once. There are a lot of movies that like you can only watch once. There are some that I continually watch, which I should only watch once. I should never watch Schindler's List again. I continue to watch Schindler's List. I could never watch Lone Survivor again. I watched Lone Survivor again and again. I watched Black Hawk Down again and again. This movie I could not watch again, and it's an amazing movie, and it really is going. When we think about AJ Styles going to retirement, this is a movie about someone who could not retire, and it's The Wrestler.
Fantastic film.
Oh my God, I
is-
forgot. Oh my Lord.
It is a rough movie. It is a rough movie. And you know, I went back to check some of the stuff on it, and I saw like Nicolas Cage was considered at one point. I'm like, what? Why would you consider Nicolas Cage? Aronofsky, the director Aronofsky, is like, no, it has to be Mickey Rourke. And honestly, this was a revival for Mickey Rourke as an actor.
Oscar nod.
And then, yeah, he
Got
did
an
get an
Oscar
Oscar nod, and then unfortunately the MCU snatched him. But the bottom line is, I know what happens at the end.
Yeah, didn't the Marissa get a nod as well?
She may have. I don't remember. I'd have to go back and check. Yes, she got a Best Supporting Actress. Mickey Rourke won a BAFTA award for it.
Best actor,
Did he
correct.
get a Golden Globe? He won the Golden Globe as well.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's an amazing movie, and we all know what happens at the end. It's not said, but we know what happens when Randy the Ram comes off the top rope. And that's how he wanted to go out.
Matt, you're number one.
Well, people have mentioned this before. It's the TV show Heels. As I think JB, you said, had a way better than a right to ever be. It was clearly done by a bunch of, because it was low paying, but of actors and producers and writers who love pro wrestling. They got so much right. They showed it respectfully, and all the challenges and all that. And you know, like you can see watching it episode by episode. Like, obviously, we're all insiders, as I mentioned before, so we know a lot of stuff, how it works, so to speak. And as an outsider, a person who's never seen it before, you might be watching it for the first time, and you would depend on someone like us say, yeah, it's authentic, right? Everyone said this was authentic. Like, this was, I mean, I don't want to say it was like the beachfront in Saving Private Ryan, how realistic it was, you know, but it was that realistic. But you had pro wrestlers saying they wanted to watch because it was like watching their real life. You know what I mean?
Right. Because I'm convinced that the character that CM Punk played is at least a mix of at least three guys that he has wrestled against in the indies. I mean, that's got to be someone that he's been in the ring with or knows of. And we lost Matt. Okay. Oh, he's in the hospital and maybe having some issues.
Yeah.
There. My number one. Oh, and he is back. There you are, sir.
Yeah, hospital Wi-Fi disrupted.
Oh, yeah.
Anywho, so just to finish out what I was saying, like I remember the first. Okay, let me be clear. The first season is about 3 times better than the second season. Okay, okay. That first season, I remember watching it, and like on one hand, not wanting to watch more because I was so into it, I didn't want to get to the end. On the other hand, I needed to see it because it was so good. And
Yeah.
I mean, there's maybe 10 or 20 TV shows in all my life I've been that excited by. 24, The $6 Million Man, a couple shows like that. And this was a documentary, essentially a documentary show, in a lot of ways. I mean, what else can I say,
Exactly. All right. My number one, Brad, we're on the same page. It's The Wrestler. It's not a fun film. It's not a feel-good film, but it's a very good film. It's a very good story. Like you said, this is a guy who was held on to his career way too long, and still kind of clings to what he was like in the 80s or something. That's the decade reference that I would see him in, because they're playing like the old because they're playing like an old Atari wrestling game that he's in it, and he's like, yeah, the Ram Jam, that's a great movie, and the kid he plays with is like, it's okay, it's not cool anymore, and he's just not cool anymore. So and this is kind of where you were doing the territories where you're stuck in a car and you're driving 8-9 hours to the next show, barely getting any sleep. The guy was coked out of his head the entire
Joker,
time.
you know what? When you say he's doing the territories, it's like the guy who did the territories, and then all the territories got bought up by WCW and WWE, and no one's picking him up. That's what he is. Yeah.
And then you've got the only friend he's got is a stripper played by the Marissa. She's phenomenal in this film. And I think had circumstances been different, they would have been a couple. They would have lived, maybe tumultuous, but a happy life. But they are what they are. And as you said, Brad, when he jumps off the top rope, you know what's happening. Yeah. It's not a feel good.
It's his last jump.
Yeah. And it
was Ernest the Cat Miller.
Yes. So that's it for our top 5. And judging by this, I think we have a clear number 1, a tie for 2, and a clear number 3.
Correct.
So our number 3
is the Iron Claw, which I still have to watch. The only reason I didn't include it is I didn't watch it, but
it's good. It's good. I was not a fan of the Von Erichs as wrestlers to start with. I really don't like the dad now. I didn't like him then. I really don't like him now. And our 2-way tie for third is, for number
second.
2 is second.
We got The Wrestler. This was actually ironic. So we got The Wrestler, which is, oh my God, I never want to watch this again type of movie. And then we got Fighting with Our Family, which is like, here's the uplifting movie about pro wrestling.
Right, exactly. You had the complete different spectrum there. And our clear number 1 is
Heels, which I still have to watch. And I love Stephen Amell.
Oh, you gotta watch it. Gotta watch it. It's very good.
I know.
So that is it for this week, folks. I want to thank everybody who stopped in and watched, dropped a like, shared it. And before we head out, Mr. LeftEyeEgo, what do you have coming up, sir?
All right. I believe I will be on the show with R2 Icky tomorrow night at, I believe, 9 or 8 Central. It'll be after the weekend, talking our 9 o'clock. Yeah, 9. Talking about our favorite movies and TV shows. Also, this Sunday, I will be on with Shiro for Ordinary Games. Hopefully, we get back in time for my godson's birthday party on Sunday to come back in time from Houston to be able to do the stream. But that's what we got Thursday and Sunday. And there'll also be some clips coming out from the show that I did this past Monday with Lucid Comics. And if you haven't checked that out, definitely check it out. It was a great stream.
So you'll be back in time. So you'll be back in time to do the stream and watch the Cowboys lose again.
Doing so well too.
I have not. Ego, if it's any consolation, on my fantasy team, I had James Conner and Tyreek Hill.
Ooh, okay. That makes me, and I do feel better actually. Thank you. Right, that does make you feel better.
But still, Cowboys are gonna suck.
Speed.
I'll keep sending memes.
And Mr. Duke Devil 95, the Watcher of Wormholes. What do you have coming up, sir?
On my channel right now, we have the 18th episode of season 2, Star Trek Deep Space Nine. God, I just blanked on his freaking name. Holy crap. God, I can't believe I just blanked on the name. I was thinking of last week's episode called Playing God. Profit and Loss, a Ferengi episode featuring Garrick. I will be on Static 2020 show tomorrow night, the weekend pregame, where he tortures us with all sorts of cringe TikTok videos he finds. Go watch Drunken Emerald Arrow's show from last Saturday night. I forget what he calls it. It's like no title or something. We ranked every Star Trek crew member, the 1966 to 2005, every Star Trek crew member was ranked.
Oh, that's right. You did. That's right. You did.
Yeah. And be on the lookout. I'm going to start a new video on my show, which is on my channel rather, which is before we actually start watching Deep Space Nine, we spend 10 to 15 minutes talking about stuff, and it's kind of really interesting. So that's going to be a separate little video I put out every other week or so.
Nice. And thank you, Mr. Jacob Ironside, the wonderful, you wrench of wrenches, you wonderful, magical wizard you. And the Bacon-Intel champion, Matt, what do you have coming up, sir?
Well, due to my limited availability, I basically have Wednesday night overbooked next week, obviously, assuming your health is good, or good enough to talk to you guys at least. And then this week on Roman's show, we are talking about favorite slasher movies, I think.
Correct.
Yeah. So I used to love slasher movies up until, I don't know, I guess everyone else goes through that phase in life with slasher movies where you want to watch them one for a time, you know. That's pretty much what I think.
Okay, and before I take us out, Mr. Ego, do you have the mic drop count from last month?
Yes, I do actually. So the winner, I believe, was with 7 mic drops, Brad.
Again,
I was going to go
congratulations,
this,
sir.
but I guess I'm just going this way.
Yeah, there you go. And as for myself, like Matt said, I will be on with Roman of the Empire tomorrow night, talking about our favorite slasher films. I was on with R to the Icky 2 weeks ago for his first new show, the new style show for after the weekend. Definitely check him out. And I'll be dropping videos on Friday, and of course back here for Wednesday night is overbooked. So on behalf of everyone at Wednesday night is overbooked, I want to say, hope you're having a great week. Keep talking, keep smiling, and until next time.
Here we go.
Is like gravity. All it takes is a little push.